Looks like they're running them top, but they are afraid of that Rise.
Turns out I was muted that whole time. Yay.
That's unfortunate.
Go me. So what was that about Jarvan?
So yeah, actually, Sewer Kings was actually playing Jarvan this last game. Or played as Jarvan in his previous game. He's actually known for playing top or mid. He's a really stellar top player. He's one of those top players that you just can't make go away. Like, you can gank him, you can kill him twice, you have the CS advantage, and then somehow, like, you blink once, and you look again, he's up on you by like 50 CS, and he's just one of these players that's really good mechanically. So, you really have to either camp him, or just he's going to be really strong late game, and you have to get some other advantage somewhere else on the map, in either bot lane or mid lane, to have to deal with his presence when you get later into the team fights.
Real terror then, huh?
Yes, complete terror.
Makes sense. Dark terror in the game. Gotta have a counter. That real terror. No, it's good stuff. So this is Judgment number 3, huh?
Yes, this is number 3. The first two, we've been running this about every other week. This one was a little bit farther apart, but it's a pretty cool format. So for those that don't know, we've explained the format a little bit, but essentially what we do is we get 8 captains. In this case, it was DarkTerrorZ and Etsu were 2 of the captains. And then we get 32 people to sign up just to be draftees, and they range from ELOs from 2K plus to unranked players. And then they actually just get picked one by one, kind of like a fantasy football draft or a game of kickball out on the playground. And you draft up your teams, and then you hop into games, and you go. And so far, it's been a pretty fun format and series for a lot of people. It's fun, judgment to judgment. The players that return, they get recognized. Who gets picked when. Players get picked earlier. Players get counterpicked from another team because they know certain players play together. So it's actually a lot of fun, and it's really exciting format to just follow these players and cast. And so I'm excited that I finally got Four-Court Jester with me to cast some games and get to cast our tournament.
I thought maybe you guys forgot about me. It's like, it's 8:40. I haven't heard from him. I don't know if it's going. It's in my calendar.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'm really happy that you're here and I get to cast with you. It's been a dream of mine as a young upstart caster.
It'll be fun times. You've been using the live tools. Like, if I miss a kill, I'll just pause the game, rewind 10 seconds, go watch it. I'll pause during live and be like, all right, well, here's the status of everything.
Yeah,
You've been doing any of that?
Yeah, I think it's actually really, really cool. I think the rewind. At first, I wasn't using the replay a lot because I was having the bug where if gold values popped up, it would like freeze on my screen. So like if I used replay too much, I would have like 20 plus 24 golds like on my screen permanently. I was like, I don't know if I want to use replay right now anymore.
You're rich. It's raining monies.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a little bit annoying.
Yeah, they've had to iron out a few things, but overall, I think it's been a fantastic addition to the game.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is actually my first set of casts with the new graphics.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the new graphics. It's fun too to like play the game. It's almost like, kind of like playing it for like the first time in some ways, because some of like the graphic tweaks they did, you get to kind of like rediscover them and stuff like that. Like they actually tweak some certain graphics or spells or abilities here and there and make them look a lot better, or they're at least they stand out a lot more to me. So I'm actually really happy with those changes.
All right, almost got these picks now figured out for the team Dark Terror. I actually have. Are you streaming as well, or is it just me?
Yeah, I'm streaming actually as well.
Okay.
Oh. DarkTerrorZ is running. He's running for his life. He doesn't like how this is going.
He doesn't want me to watch his game, man.
I was gonna say I have all the summoner stuff all covered up in case we had any complaints of ghosting. But now they look silly because we're not on the picks and ban screen.
Exactly, of course.
Format.
Always gotta do that to us.
What a jerk. So I think they had a Maokai, they had a Corki. I don't remember the other ones.
Yeah, no, Olaf, Sewer Kings picked up Olaf. I don't know if he's actually going to play that top, but being as he is their top player, probably going to see that as his top lane. But we'll hop back in here, hopefully. You'll start, maybe, no, because they don't want to start blind picks. They didn't actually finish the picks, I believe. It's actually going to be a really good matchup, because if Sewer Kings goes top, then he's actually going to be playing against Format, who was last tournament's MVP, and he actually he has a lot of really good tops up his sleeve, and those two going at it, those are probably going to be two of the players to watch. That top lane, normally pretty boring sometimes to watch a top lane if it's two sustainy bruisers or something like that. But these guys are going to go at it. Like if they sense like that they can take that inch, they're gonna do it.
Wow, DarkTerrorZ is 2164 and Etsu's 2184.
Yep.
Pretty decent elos coming out there.
Yep. Etsu fluctuates a lot. Sometimes he's this really amazing player, and he's like the best player in the game, and like you see him, you're like, oh, this guy's amazing. And then sometimes like he just, I don't know what it is, like he has this inner troll, and he trolls himself even though he doesn't know it. And then you'll see his elo plummet, and you'll be like, why does this guy even play this game? And then next thing you know, he's almost 2200 again. So we're probably going to see the picks and bans go really quickly, hopefully, since they got a lot of them worked out. But you never know.
Hop to it. Mush for me. Mush. What do you think of the rumblings that I've heard of increasing the bans to 4?
I think it's actually a pretty good idea. I think for some people they're like, oh, it takes like a long time or something like that. But for me, I feel like I think whatever the pool of champions is, I think the bans, like you should be able to ban about like 10% of them. So seeing as we're over 100, I think 4 for each side's actually pretty decent. that's actually a good number. I mean, because if we had 80 champions, I think you should probably be able to ban 8 champions. It's just how I kind of feel. I don't know if that's I haven't gone out and fully done the math on that, but I feel like that's something that works pretty well, at least for Dota and stuff like that. That was kind of their philosophy for a little bit back in the day. Now obviously Dota is being remade, and Dota has a million characters now, so that's kind of out the window. But I think four bans would be pretty good.
Well, believe it or not, League of Legends is well on its way to becoming the most populous of heroes amongst the various MOBAs.
Yeah. I mean, they're cranking out those heroes. Actually, I think they slowed down a little bit. They said they were going to take 3 weeks now or something. But before, when it was like 1 every 2 weeks, it was like I almost felt like I almost wanted to be like, Riot, slow down. Like, we don't need too many heroes. But the problem becomes actually though is the more heroes you get, the more bans you're gonna invariably probably need. Because at some point it gets too ridiculous. Like you can't, like at some point like we can't have like 10 bans per side, because that would just take ridiculously long. I kind of like what Dota does a little bit, how they break it up. So you ban 2 characters and then you make some picks and then you ban 2 more characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that puts in an interesting dynamic, and I think it makes it a little bit more fun for the players, maybe somewhat for the viewers, because like there's at least some picks going down. They don't have to wait for like a bunch of teams to decide on their bans first.
Yeah, breaking them up allows you to see, what's now picked and what can we, what do we want to take out of the equation now that we know we already got these picks, Yeah. Do I have a Karthus? Yes. All right. Is Soraka banned? No. All right. Let's ban Soraka so that she doesn't counter Karthus. That kind of philosophy, I think, works pretty well in a competitive format.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you see a team going for one type of team comp, you could in turn maybe try
break it up
to counter. And actually, I think that solves a lot of problems with if there ever is cheesy team comps that come up that someone might try to run on you or something like that. It would kind of stomp that out, because no one would ever be able to run it, because once they see you start it, they could just make the appropriate bans.
I got the active game not found popping up. What a jerk.
I know. This client, man, I tell you.
It's only Adobe Air. Alright, so still not going forward with the summoner spells. Who do we got here for our teams?
So it looks like we have Corki, Soraka, Maokai, Jax, and Ari, which, if we actually see a Jax top and we see a format on Jax, it'll actually be one of the first times I've actually seen him play Jax. I know Jax is really, really strong top laner now, and actually the last game we just casted was a Jax versus an Olaf top, and the Jax ended up coming out on top, and actually was a big contributing factor in the game, a big deciding factor in who won, because he was jumping on to the enemy Kog'Maw carries and just totally tearing him down before the enemy team could respond.
And that is the point of a Jax. It's very akin to an Olaf or any other real top lane bruiser that can take a few hits.
Meanwhile, the other team's going to be rocking the Nocturne, Taric, Graves, and it looks like a Swain. I saw, actually, DarkTerrorZ was running Swain earlier in some practice games. So hopefully he knows how to play against one. He should, since he's been playing a lot of Swain lately. Actually has that new Swain skin, so I'm sure that's a part of it.
Wants to show off a little bit.
Well, it's like the Vayne, Valentine's Day skin out, and then everybody was playing Vayne because they have to show off the skin.
Well, it was hot.
Yeah, it's factually correct.
Do you say that was factually correct?
Yes.
Brilliant. And it does not look like they're going to be changing up anything, so bada bing, bada boom. 3 minutes now going down. I'm going to take off my markers. Let's take a quick look. What do we got? All right, so mid, Ari versus Swain. Swain, I don't know, feels almost like a slow reaction type of champion up against the quick-witted Fox. I mean, that never move can definitely take its time casting.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be really, really hard for Swain to Swain Ari get off that full combo, especially with especially once they hit 6. It's gonna be really, really tough for him. Although he will be since he is purple side, having a mid is a little more convenient than if you're gonna try to run him top, so he can actually feed him get fed that blue. Although if you're really good Swain players, though, they can actually manage their mana pretty well and not have to rely so much on that blue. But it is a really, really, really big help for Swain players. Let them be a little bit more
cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the cooldown. Yeah, but you're right. If he gets enough last hits, he should be getting refunded all, or at least majority of his mana. Should give him some good longevity. Get yourself a nice Rod of Ages. First item gets you some nice tankiness. Goes well with your ultimate. Get some spell vamp going, and you have yourself a nice time in your middle.
Yeah, knowing these players a little bit though, it's kind of interesting. Hwinster going top against Format and they put Sewer Kings against DarkTerrorZ in mid, which obviously DarkTerrorZ is a really good player, but Format is one of those he's MVP caliber player. Like, he got picked as the MVP last tournament. He's someone that can carry an entire game. I would almost feel more comfortable shutting him down as opposed to DarkTerrorZ. So that's an interesting decision by Etsu, the captain of the purple team. Maybe playing Nocturne, he's decided that he's going to be able to camp that lane like I was talking about a little bit earlier against Format, maybe, and maybe that will help curb the control that he's going to have late game. Because the way I'm looking at it right now, I have a feeling that as we reach that mid late game portion, maybe even early game, Format is definitely going to have the advantage top lane.
Well, top lane is Jax, and Jax is, if you watch any of the other tournaments out there, if you watch a lot of these featured streams, it's exactly the lane that he's meant for at this point. I mean, the meta is a very strong Jax, can definitely do work, and if he can trade off with the Lightning Bolt Olaf, then he'll be in good position. He does have the Flash, he does have the Ignite. We do have the Ghost Ignite, which I think is more the correct for Olaf, because he synergizes very well with Ghost, I feel. Like the Flash,
yeah,
not so much. I think Ghost is definitely a better choice for him.
Yeah, I definitely like the Ghost a lot better on Olaf. Actually, excited to see a Maokai jungle in here. I like his. He's a lot of players have gone more for the Nautilus kind of jungle or like a really quick jungle, and I feel like Maokai is getting played a little bit less. But I like his Twisted Advance because it's a little bit more reliable. Instead of having to land the dredge line, he's not quite as much of a CC bot. But that Twisted Advance is really, really like surefire. Like, they can flash, Vlad can pool, but it doesn't matter what you do. Once the Twisted Advance starts, he's going to lock you down. And if you have a really good AP mid, maybe an Ari that could land a charm to follow that up, you might be able to, confirm a kill in a lane.
Now, we did have a Nocturne in the last game that I was in, and he did his job as best he could, although he did face check a few times that he probably shouldn't have. But Haunting Nocturne, we're going to see a nice altered graphic. Him versus a Maokai, kind of feel like Maokai has a little bit of an edge when it comes to that ganking, because he has a bit better earlier kit, but that level 6 Nocturne gank can be extremely powerful simply due to the range that it affords him. So if Maokai can't make too much happen and we start hitting that level 6 range and nothing really successful went down, might start seeing Nocturne outshine him a bit.
Yeah, definitely something to look for because Etsu, like I said, he's one of those players that like you can see him one moment he could be the best player in the game or one of the best players you've ever seen. So, knowing from Evil Cookie, who I believe was the player that played him in the last game, he was talking about how Etsu's jungle was really, really scary. So going into this game is something to definitely watch for. He could be, the equalizing factor for all these lanes. Like I was saying, format might be able to dominate that top lane, but if Etsu's able to, come in there and mitigate some of that damage and control the lanes, that might be the best place, for a captain to be because he's definitely going to be coordinating and running his team with an iron fist, knowing his play style because he's not afraid to let you know if you're making a mistake or you need to be in a place, when you should be.
Now that leaves us with Corki Soraka up against a Tarek Graves. Tarek Graves is a especially scary combination. The stun, shatter from Tarek reduces the armor, and then Graves comes in with his AD and his pretty high base stats on his Q. It's going to be a good chunking out of Corki or Soraka, whoever they do grab. There is no heal on Graves, however. He is rocking that Ignite. That kind of goes against the grain that we see in more typical ADs these days, but that's clearly his choice.
Yeah, I kind of actually like what we're seeing with that Ignite because I think a lot of bot combos have kind of learned. I mean, typically you don't necessarily see it on the AD, like you said, but what a lot of bot combos have learned is like team heals in vogue. You don't want to have that team heal come in. There's a lot of sustain lanes, and Ignite is one of those spells that reduces and mitigates a lot of that healing. So maybe against the Soraka, when they decide to go for that early burst combo, like you said, with the stun, shatter, and Graves coming with his burst, throwing down that Ignite is going to be able to mitigate a lot of the fact that Soraka's healing to try to save Corki in the process. So that actually could be a really, really good laning strategy coming from Prodigy and Trunk Monkey.
Well, we're going to have to see if it pays off. Ladies and gentlemen, Law Judgment number 3, Pato and Forecourt Jester, as we're watching Dark Terror versus Etsu.
And this it will be really bad for Purple Dangle if he face checks this. Oh, wow, and he is done.
GG.
Yeah, Swain even actually missing his pool there, but...
I'm going to slow that down and watch it again. Bam. Yeah. Weirdly enough, Swain actually missed the never move.
Yeah, he did. He missed the nevermore. He's like, here he comes in. He has no idea we're here. Missed. But that must be the worst feeling if that comes down, because where do you move back into it? You know you're dead. Like, what do you're just like, flash somewhere quick.
Well, the never move thing is kind of what I was referring to in the Battle of the Mids. Like, never move is a great idea of a skill. Hey, I'm going to put down this spell and you can't move. The only problem is if you put it down anywhere, unless it's like super right on the center of them, the normal movement speed is just going to walk out of it.
Yeah, I mean, players with good reaction time, especially Ari's, I mean, when they have their ult, and that could even just be a cue for her to go in on you in response if you miss that. So... definitely interested to watch this mid lane and see how it goes down.
Well, comboing it with the Etsu ganks, that fear, that level 6 fear, into a never move, that'll work out great. The Tarek stun, that'll work out great. Unfortunately, that's about the end of the synergy, but by itself, I mean, Corki, you cannot say he had really good reaction time on that gank because he kept walking into the trap. But again, normal walking speed was still able to just walk out of the never move. So that's why I'm always a little bit leery when it comes to Swain these days. I mean, it's just such a long cast time.
Yes, definitely. Bottom, we already see Purple Dango taking a lot of burst damage from Graves and Targ even before they were even level 2. So definitely Soraka is going to have to be healing constantly, and eventually, once they get her low on that mana, if they can, that will be the time to go in.
Oh, I'm not live. There we go. Now I'm live. Oh, yep. Good.
He's basically perpetually at half health at this point. Which the good news is, what the good news is for Corki is though, Soraka there will have that mana buff and a kill top.
Yeah.
DarkTerrorZ.
Don't worry. You can rewind and go watch it.
I know, this is the good news.
Yeah, but it was good.
Underneath
it was Etsu and Hunster. It was good.
Yeah, so there's quick ganks from Nocturne, and this is actually kind of something that I actually like to see from a lot of Nocturne players. It's like everybody knows about the Nocturne level 6 gank, and it was a great job actually of Winster getting out of there right in time. But everybody knows about the Nocturne level 6 gank, but the thing that I like to see from a lot of Nocturne players these days is just, early aggression. I mean, most of the games I'm playing now, if a Nocturne's in the game, he's ganking, level 2, level 3, level 4. Like I'll even see him in bottom lane try to creep up in the bushes to do like a surprise gank through lane as opposed to through river. And it's actually really effective so far because just people don't expect it because they're used to Nocturne. You're like, all right, we don't have to worry about him until he's level 6. And they let their guard down a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's why Maokai here has to try to make his mark before that level 6, because I do think that the Nocturne kit is a little bit better for, post 6 and afterwards. But if he's going to start doing this big aggression, not only will the top lane Olaf win his lane, he's also now establishing his aggression, which means he's going to have a much easier time when it gets to 6 for those ganks, because he'll have all that extra gold and all those assists. I mean, Maokai's just farming. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, it looks like he's the Nocturne player almost. but really, yeah, he should, hopefully he's looking for a gank sometime here in the near future. Looks like probably going to clear red, and then maybe he'll go for that, although I don't know if he'll have enough health by then.
Now here we go. Dark Terror in the mid up against the Sewer Kings. The never move, just too easy to walk out of, is not going to be resulting in a kill. Etsu even showed his face so that he knows he's there. And now Ari's just going to be a bit more defensive. She did just crack 5, though. Halfway to 6. So soon, I mean, that never move is not even going to mean anything to her.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really, really, really hard for DarkTerrorZ. Or actually, it's going to be really easy for DarkTerrorZ to dodge Sewer King's never moves coming in here. And I'm kind of questioning right now, putting Sewer Kings on mid against DarkTerrorZ and having him play Swain. And the gank bait in here. Maokai coming bottom. All the focus onto Graves. Graves is surely going to fall here. Or will he be able to escape? It looks like he's just barely escaped. No, he won't. Flash by Purple Dango to follow it up and seal the deal. Great work there by Corki.
Now, I was looking at the vision, and you couldn't see that Maokai, but after he flashed over the wall, he was in range to get that root off. I want to say it's Arcane Smash, but it's the Twisted Advance and then the Arcane Smash. And yeah, I mean, I was like, well, maybe I don't think that's close enough, but that flash really kind of did it in. Purple Dango having to burn his flash just to get the kill on Graves, not as expected, not as planned, but kill's a kill. It was good stuff. It was good, definitely good gank bait, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, it is something to be really careful with, especially whenever I mean, it's hard for. I think it was hard for the red team because they've been pushing around the bottom lane so much that it was kind of business as usual. But typically, if you do go in to make those moves, and the other team's a little bit too receptive to your harassment, sometimes that might be the scenario. And unfortunately, it looks like we have a DC, which we already have 3 kills in this game. So hopefully he's back really soon. I know that typically Winster doesn't actually have a lot of problems online, so hopefully he'll be back right away.
This is going to be dangerous for Jax, however. I mean, format up there with free farm, that could snowball really hard.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, it was already. I mean, even having Winster versus format up there, already was a possible trouble spot for them, and now actually a lot of focus going on to bottom lane. Going to be able to pick up that Soraka. Swain rotating down. Ari not actually following or catching that. They did have wards there, though.
And this is actually a good application of the never move because he slowed her down. There was only one way for her to go. Got her really good with the never move, which allowed Graves to come in with the Q and the vision denial. Bam! Just before her heal goes off. And Corki, unfortunately, just cannot crack that tough shell of Ravens. And he gets the kill. It's really good.
Yeah, it was solid play by Sewer Kings right there. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe it's like he knows like I can't do anything to Ari. I might as well look for other lanes to try to pick off players. Actually, stun going on to Corki. He's really low yet again. Looks like he's gonna have to back now.
I broke it. Nobody's moving. Oh, there we go.
Looks like Purple Dango sitting at 41 CS, Graves at 52, so just barely inching ahead. Looks like now he's actually going to buy up his double Dorans, but in the meantime, since Soraka is by herself, any bottom lane, if you recognize that that you've backed up the 80, he's going to die underneath turret. Graves doesn't care. Trunk Monkey tanking a lot of the turret damage right there. I actually really like it. Have you played a lot recently with the new pings the turrets give you? Meanwhile, Twisted Advance in mid. Great flash out by Sewer Kings, avoiding a lot of that damage. Going to use that Raven to tank up just a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to lose all of it, though.
Trying to get onto DarkTerrorZ, and there it is. Cruise Missile online actually lands it, and he will pick up a kill in mid. Great move there.
That's the scary level 6 that we all love and really expect out of our Nocturne players. But yeah, I do see that Hyunster's back, and looks like he is out for blood up against Jax. He's going to get one more axe off. Not quite going to finish it, but,
He wanted to make sure that Matt knew he was back. He's like, hey, I'm back. Get out my lane.
Hey, I'm back. I brought you a present. It's my axe. I need that back. Sorry. Yeah. Kind of what it went down. 11K to 13K, 5-1. It's looking pretty good right now for. This is Team Etsu, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Team Etsu. So early game, they got off a lot of aggression. I mean, Swain came south for a kill. We had Nocturne up top for a kill, and then just a few other team fights around. I think Soraka's down 0-2. Yeah, Soraka's down 0-2. Not having a very fun time in that bottom.
Yeah, the good news for Soraka though is eventually at some point, if you do get picked on, you're worth about as much gold as a minion, so you don't have to feel too bad about your deaths. The unfortunate part is
I still would.
Yeah, you still don't have a lot of gold though to buy wards,
yeah,
and really support your team. The one bright note possibly is those that Tark kind of falls off when you get to late, mid-late game, just because he basically becomes just a stun bot. I mean, Soraka already heal button, but the silence can be really, really clutch, and the heals can prevent a lot of deaths. So, good news is the later this game goes, Soraka might have a little bit more of an impact, even though she is behind.
Well, you got to have Tarek either tank up or become somewhat of an aura deposit, an aura repository. With his ultimate going down with the shatter, I mean that's a lot of negative armor. He's probably going to get himself that Shurelius. Looking at mid, Sewer King's taking some big flak. Dark Terror has to run out from that from that ignite, but oh my goodness, this Raven tank does not go down. And that's the big key thing about good Swain players is they can kind of tank that. And now are we going to have the cleanup crew? Etsu coming in, does get hit by that Maokai, probably saved DarkTerrorZ's life. And that's going down. Purple Dango getting some heat on that bottom. Has to Valkyrie on out. What is Jax doing? What is he doing?
He's doing some counter juggling where he's just sneaking around.
He's looking for a kill. He's going to go right through the turret. Sewer Kings don't care. Is he going to flash on over? Because he's going to his death.
Follows this.
Oh, the Nocturne ultimate coming out. Lands on top of Tobrai instead. Oh, that felt messy.
Yeah, I think Etsu got a little bit too excited there. He was like, no, you were supposed to face check this brush. Luckily, Matt, being a smart player, constantly thinking, wanted to go in for that gank, but once he realized he was in the brush, knew it was way too risky of a proposition, and just backed on out of it. Which a lot of players, they don't have that restraint. They see something, they just want to do it. Kind of like Etsu,
tunnel vision. Yeah.
Etsu popping his paranoia prematurely.
Is that a problem he has a lot? I mean, it's still looking right good. Etsu's still up 5-1. They're still about 2,500 ahead. Their lanes are pushing. It does look like Ari is going to come down south for a little bit of a visit, but she's actually going to circumvent the wards, but she had to have gone through this jungle ward here by the wraiths. So yeah, bottom lane backs on out. Ari just ends up wasting her time. She's going to head on back to the mid, and she has a pretty typical Ari build. 13 minutes in, double Dorans, has herself some armor penetration, and it does look like Swain's still struggling to get that Rod of Ages, but it's a little early, so.
Yeah, I mean, he'd really like to get it, before the 15-minute mark if he could. Right now he's banking about 300 gold, so not going to quite hit that mark. But of course, it looks like it's not just a straight rush. He's bought a lot of other utility items in the meantime. Going to go make sure he's a little bit tanky.
I missed the kill top.
And luckily we have rewind features.
Yep. Now, I saw Format go up against the Hyunster, but I was not aware that he wanted to go balls to the wall on top of him. So it's a kill for a kill. Yeah. Kill for a kill. Okay.
Yeah, looking at it right now, I don't necessarily know what he was really going for there. Why he wanted to try to trade that.
Well, that's the problem with Olaf. If you're not stacking health, then that true damage is going to rip right through you. And Jax is doing exactly that. Look at that. Dorn's Phage. That's kind of the most health he can stack while still being, current and offensive in his top lane. I mean, if he goes for, health crystals or he goes for that heart of gold, he's going to lose out on those offensive stats. Something he can't really afford. So he's stacking as much health as he can, but lightning bolts, man. Lightning bolts.
True damage is scary.
Yeah, it really is. Other than that, Dragon went down. 14-minute Dragon. It's pretty respectable.
Yeah, and Etsu doing a good job of just managing his team right here. See, like a lot of good coordinated ganks. Blue quite hasn't had that yet. Haven't seen too much of Maokai in lane. I mean, the few times it's been defensively.
Well, he did get that kill bottom.
Yes.
The reverse kill on the bottom, and he was too late to clean up top. Other than that, he's just been farming away. I mean, he's 0-0-1, so he's not been nearly as involved as Nocturne 1-0-2. He's also fallen behind a bit in creeps, and if I take a look at their money, there is about a 500 gold difference between the two junglers. So right now, Etsu, he's pretty much on the fast track in terms of jungling.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, where he goes with this, and if he decides to go more tanky or if he decides to get some damage. I know a lot of Nocturne players, they kind of put themselves in a trap, and whoa, that was actually a never move in mid that would have landed on DarkTerrorZ, but he actually had to flash out of it. So burning a flash on Ahri right there in mid. A good play there by Sewer Kings.
And we still have those trade-offs going down top. I mean, Hyunster is now healing up. Matt, unfortunately, out of health potions. He's now spent them all, and here we go. He's just too low. He's sitting there too low, and that's the problem with Nocturne. He can really jump you from afar, and he's going to pay that price. Good kill for him. Hyunster going to come in here, and he's taking the tower. He's taking the tower. No. He got away. No. Yep, he still got away. Good.
Oh,
good
wow, that fear
from
right
Etsu.
as he flashed. The fear procs and he turns around, runs the other way. That has to be a heartbreaker.
Yeah, pretty much. Poor Maokai. This is what we said. That level 6 comes out. Nocturne is going to spend that ultimate as many times as he can for that. Oh, Dark Terror. Oh, Dark Terror. No good. Gets destroyed by Sewer Kings. Gets off the ultimate, and the bottom did come up. They were pinging for this kill. It looks like they are going to get it. Oh, feed the Graves double. Feed the Graves double. No, here comes Tobrai. Where's his sapling? There we go. There's the Twisted Advance, the Arcane Smash. He's going to be going down. Trunk, it might be in the wrong place at the wrong time here. That charm just turning him right around. That was an awesome series of kills coming out for DarkTerrorZ team.
Yeah, that was a great situation. That's one of those situations where I think, players are a little bit too compelled to save their teammates. And you just need to cut your losses. As we saw there, they knew where Sewer Kings was. They saw him cross with the ward at Raise, and they pinged for it. So bottom rotated, top rotated. He had a pretty good, combo and was trying to run away. But once Maokai saw this rotated in, it was a 2v4, and just everything went wrong there.
Well, Tobrai is going to continue. Sergey gets himself that red format up here again. Trying to go toe-to-toe, throws out his stun, but unfortunately does not hit anything, and now Hyunster knows he has a little bit of a free ticket to get some big deeps going, and brings him down to half before falling off. And these are trade-offs that Jax cannot afford at this point. He's 1-4-0, 100 creeps. He's going to start falling behind at a really big rate if he keeps losing these trades and having to go back home.
Yeah, and even if he feels like he is winning, in the back of his mind, he has to think, is Etsu there hiding? Gonna pop that paranoia and fly in here and turn it completely around.
That's exactly why you take those kind of big like aggression heroes.
Purple Dango all by himself might be in a little bit of trouble here. Never moved, almost was gonna land. Good patience right there by Purple Dango.
Yeah, it did not blow it prematurely. Now DarkTerrorZ like, all right, they're gonna have to come up here. I think they just saw each other in the jungle. Yeah, he's waiting, like, turn around, like, Swain, protect me. But no, we got a little bit of a gang up going. We are going to have at least a 3-on-2. No, Tobrai! There's no ganks, or there's no pings. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah,
Get
he
the
is
ultimate
not long
off.
for this world.
No, and bottom decided to turn back around. Don't do it, DarkTerror. Don't do it. Don't be a hero. Here's an interesting thing, though. They have left Graves all alone. He does have his dash, though, in case things get too hectic. No, Etsu's going to
Nocturne
initiate
coming
for
in.
him.
You thought it was
Oh.
a 2v1, now it's a 2v2. Graves all coming in. Just going to put him really, really low. That Knight Soraka's going to be able to get out of this.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Swain even joining the party.
Looks
Oh,
like
we got Olaf coming in from behind as well. He's going to run right into DarkTerror. We got the Pingo now. They know she's there. And now with that axe, they definitely know. Oh, we could have a 5-on-1 situation. No, she uses the ultimate. She has to. Oh, she's playing devil's advocate now. Oh, she gets the kill.
wow, great pickoff there by DarkTerrorZ.
That Tarek, man. What was he doing? Well, this is going to leave Format in his lane, up top, all alone, just how he likes it. And they're going to be smacking that tower. He's going to intercept the creep wave. He's going to really try to make sure that we can maximize damage. And, yeah, he can clear that creep wave, no problem. Is he even going to go for the golems? He's going to go for the golems. What a cheeky bastard.
Olaf might have something to say about this, but apparently he doesn't know this is going down.
Nah, he has no idea. Yeah, that's going to be huge. I mean, Hyunster right now, level 13, despite being disconnected, is still up against Matt. But Matt, as we did say, he's 1-4. He doesn't have a good track record up here. It looks like he's going for that Triforce first, and he just picked up that Sheen. That Sheen might be able to help level the playing field one-on-one, but again, you got a Nocturne. If you don't see him on the map, he's probably waiting in that bush. That's something you got to keep in mind during these fights.
I'm interested to see, what Etsu and the Sewer Kings are waiting for up here. This is just kind of waiting in this river brush.
One-on-one. Fight Club! Come on, Jax! Yes, that
Matt
Sheen is totally
getting the
what he
better
needed.
of this. Yes.
Did lose the tower, though. Did lose the tower. But that Sheen, man, once every, was it 2 seconds? Yeah, once every 2 seconds, he gets that empowered, he gets that leap strike. Of course, the stun comes out as well, and it's toast, man. He got it good. And now he's going to be able to clear this tower, no problem. Swain's, he's marching all the way up there. He's like, no, double time, gotta save it. It's not going to save it. Spoiler alert.
Or will he?
Actually-
Jax isn't going to focus it.
Yeah, there's that never move again.
Yeah, denying him some escape paths. He's going to flash early.
Higher disappoint, Matt. Oh, there goes Etsu!
Oh, but here comes DarkTerrorZ. It looks like Etsu is he going to pick up the kill? He will.
Oh.
Twist advance on Etsu, trying to keep him out of this, but they're just going to be in full retreat. Etsu, that Nocturne, a lot squishier than you think.
Hey,
But really
tower's
scary
down.
when it comes in.
Tower's down. He didn't save the tower.
Yeah.
So I win.
Yeah, you do win.
Bam.
Looks like
This jump to live really does not jump to live.
Looks like both supports now have picked up oracles, starting to clear out wards here. Play a little game of Minesweeper for their team.
Put down a flag. 2 here, guys. 2 here. I like that Minesweeper. I like that. Got a bit of a gathering down south. I think Trunk Monkey's hosting a barbecue. We're going to have some nice trees. We got a fox. Sewer King's getting caught out in the bush. He's down. Yeah, that was not so good. Don't attack a ward and then sit there. I mean, because if they didn't see you leave, you're still there, and they know that.
Yeah, spoiler.
That was good. That was a good call. Because now they're going to get themselves another tower.
Yeah, actually, the kills now almost evened up. Team Etsu running out to that really early lead. They're still up, a pretty good chunk of gold here, just over 3K. But otherwise, blue team doing a good job here, coming back, taking some towers, making some moves.
They're within 3K gold. Hyunster was pushing down that top, but I mean, Jax has foregone the. Interesting. He went for a pickaxe after the Sheen. I would have expected a Triforce. Okay. He knows what he's doing. I hope.
Need some more deeps. He's like, no, I get to free farm up here. This
Yeah,
is gonna
speaking
happen.
of farm, we're 24 minutes in, let's say. What are our numbers? The highest I see 175 on Graves. He's been doing good. He has that IE. He's been farming well. Can't really say the same for Corky. Corky went for a Triforce. He's 155, so he's a little bit behind. They have the same amount of kills though, so that kind of evens out. Who came out ahead in gold? Still Graves, and I got to give it to the two dragons that they have under their belt.
Yeah, and I kind of I feel there's a lot of Corky players that actually go this Triforce build, and I understand it makes you tanky, but it's also a really expensive item. And when I think of AD carries, I'd really just like Corky players to go Infinity Edge. I feel like they hit really really hard in that instance. But a lot of players like that Triforce. They see the guides that tell you to do it, but I know there's a lot of, at least there's a faction of pro players that actually prefer that Corky players just go the Infinity Edge, get the highest DPS damage item, play the AD carry role. But it works for Corky players.
Well, Corky with the Triforce, not only will he get that extra attack damage on casts, it also adds AP and a slowing effect to his missiles.
Yes.
So he casts a missile, it hits for double damage because of the sheen, and it has a chance to slow, plus it blows up for the AP. Overall, I mean, it's one of the more hybrid-y items that can actually work for an AD.
Yes.
But only really Corky, Misfortune, anybody with AP scaling as well.
And Matt getting a lot of love right now, 4-on-1, eating all the cooldowns he possibly can, and they will pick him up and possibly go for a Baron here. Looks like they are. Looks like blue team is pinging for this, but they might just be hiding, lying in wait. Stun will land on DarkTerrorZ. Charm is gonna miss. Fear is gonna be able to get out of the tether range and just back off here. And it looks like Olaf rotating in here, and they might decide to actually go for this Baron. They have blue team low. Double wards going down. That'll take twice as long to clear.
For some reason, I thought that the big missiles, slowed people. It just does extra damage.
And actually, Steve Y going to be picked off right out here at the Baron fight. Looks like Maokai's going to flash out of this purple Dango, getting focused next. As all his escapes popped, he has no Valkyrie, has no flash. Will just barely have that Valkyrie come up and be able to get out of this. Olaf's going to fall in the meantime. Maokai falling down now. But it looks like Jax has respawned and come into the fight. Etsu is very, very low, and this might be an ace completely turned around. Matt with the respawn.
That Matt, man. That Matt. Wanted that revenge. Yeah, that was a really good turnaround, but at the same time, kind of got really greedy.
Yes.
On Etsu's team.
Yes.
Really got greedy there. I mean, they had a good thing, and then they just kind of took it too far. Jax came in. He looks like he's going to go for that Hex Tech after all.
Wow. Swain.
And you just saw Sewer getting blown up.
he can burn up all he wants. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and to get another turret out of there. That's really good punishment on top of Etsu's team. It's like, well, this is what you get for going too deep. And DarkTerror picked up a triple after that. I mean, his farm just skyrocketed so hard. 9,000 gold. He's now the richest player in this game.
And if they pick up this dragon, he's going to be even richer.
Yeah, put him closer to 10k. I mean, he's 7-1-2. He has the best kill death right now. He has 174 creeps, which it's not the most, but it's up there. He's not exactly slouching on the CSing. Plus, most kills in the game. That puts you at a pretty good position at the 30-minute mark. He's going to get that Rylise. He's looking for that Rylise.
Yeah, and, now his team is actually in the lead. They've been behind for most of this game, but now they've swung it back. And definitely something I know about DarkTerrorZ as a captain. When he's calling strats for his team, he's really conservative, but he also he doesn't give up leads very easily. So if we see them start to build a bigger lead here, we know that he's definitely going to bring it home. So I'd say before they give him too much of a lead, Team Etsu is going to have to make some player keep them. Definitely can't make any more mistakes like that. Get greedy, go in and get wiped again.
Well, we finally got that BF sword here on Corky, so I'd have to assume he's going to be setting up for that IE. But You know, the order is typically that IE Phantom Dancer and Last Whisper. That's a very scary thing. But you know, if you go for the Triforce, you got to be very confident in your team if you're going to go for the Triforce.
Yes, completely. I agree. Olaf now, he does have that sticking power with that frozen mallet. So when he pulls his cruise missile move, and Matt running for his life now, stun's not going to hit anybody. Just defensive, flashes over the wall, run down then up.
I like that. Did use the flash. Nobody chased him, so he's going to get out of that. And his farm's actually come up pretty decent. I mean, he was 1-4, now he's 3-6, and that was a part of a huge turnaround. He's going to be able to get these wraiths, and he's actually now farming on par with that Olaf. So, what's happening mid? DarkTerror going 2-on-1. Oh, Prodigy throwing out the ultimate. Fortunately, it only hit thin air. That's a bad move right there.
Yeah, not exactly how you want to utilize your ultimate as Graves.
Just want to point
out
out,
for those kills.
Matt was on the wrong side of the Baron there. And they had a ward. Maokai comes in, he jumps to the ward, gets over that barrier, gets away. That's why you saw so many pings at Baron.
Teamwork.
Brilliant blitz. Yeah, that's how it goes in.
Much like we see Lee Sins walk around with a constant inventory of wards, sometimes you'll see that from the Jax players too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very similar mechanics and very similar save your ass moments that can grace our presence in the Potato Monsters and the top 5 plays.
And I actually really do like that mechanic. The wards, can serve another purpose besides just giving you vision. I think it's a cool mechanic in the game. And Flash Twisted Advance onto Trunk Monkey. They're going to pick off the support right away. And we have a full-blown team fight, but a lot of Team Etsu is scattered here. Olaf looks like he was going to try to go in there and get a kill onto Corky, but now he's just going to run for his life, getting chased down by Matt. Matt's going to run the other way, make sure that he can't escape. Will he be able to do it? That ghost is done. There's the jump. Charm just in case. So much CC. I don't think there's any way he was going to get out of that.
Seeing the power of a fully functional Jax. Not exactly a Death Star, but he's a death machine, that's for sure. Yeah, Etsu just has to run away from out of that. 16-12, we've come up very nicely now for the Dark Terror. This more mid-game, I mean, Jax has a lot of staying power. He has that Triforce now. We have a very fed Ari, and that leads to a lot of damage. That charms are very invaluable for some of these fights in terms of just turning them back around, landing those kills. We got the Triforce and the BF sword on Corky, so he's done himself not super amazing. He's 2-1-11, so he's majority just assists, but hey, he gets the gold for it. He's farming very well. 240 creeps to his name. There's the charm right there onto the Trunk Monkey. They should be able to get him. Yeah, there we go, jumping on top of him. Overall, the team has come very nicely here in the mid-game.
Yeah, again, one of those games of a little too greedy. It's like, oh, there's Maokai, he's boot billing, let's go get him, and lo and behold, the rest of his team's still there, and they jump on you and kill you.
And that was the story of how Tarek died. I will tell it to my grandsons and daughters one day of the 056 Tarek. He does have the double gold for 10, but no Shirelia's 32 minutes in. Slacking.
Yeah, and again, it is one of those things where it's, if you fall behind as Tarek, you enter this stage of the game, you kind of end up a little bit useless.
There's also debate about the Olaf build that we have running here on Hunster. I mean, he does have the Frozen Mallet, he does have the Wriggles, and now he also has that Hex Drinker. The Hex Drinker is cool because, well, Ari and Jax do some pretty stupid combos together, and that Hex Drinker shield can be pretty invaluable. But after you lead up with the Frozen Mallet, you kind of need that Atlas. Otherwise, just no real damages coming out other than your cooldowns, and I don't see anything reducing cooldowns here. I don't know. Maybe I just watched too much Dyrus playing.
No,
playing Olaf.
I kind of agree. I think a lot of players kind of shied away from Atmas. It's kind of one of those things that any game, you see it in StarCraft, you see it in League of Legends, where something gets nerfed a little bit, and oh wow, Syracuse getting caught out, and there's that stupid damage you were talking about by his team starts Baron. It looks like they didn't even realize that their teammate just died. They're like, oh, we're still doing Baron. Oh, this is bad. And it looks like DarkTerrorZ team might clean up here. Double kill right there for DarkTerrorZ, trying to back away from Hwinster, but Hwinster, he's not going to win this pitch battle right now.
But see, that kind of goes back to the whole Olaf thing I was talking about. He got 2 double kills that fight, that Dark Terror right there.
The unofficial quadra kill.
I'm going back to that. All right, so I went back too far. Either way, I'm going to speed this up, but I'm going to go back to the Baron fight. And this is kind of the key genius thing that they did right here. Come on, hurry up. Get back to me. How fast can I go? I can go 8 times. Wow. And I don't know if you caught this or not, but when we were talking, I definitely saw this. Keep an eye on Swain. All right, let's go back down to 1 speed. Play. Tobrai was going around. It's like, all right, there's no wards here. Jackson and Ari went to the brush. They have a ward. They saw Hwinster, and they saw Etsu, Prodigy, and Trunk Monkey go by. But that's only 4 people. They're like, all right, where the hell is this Swain? When we know we got no wards in this area. They see the Swain. They line up that charm very perfectly. Out comes the Jack stun. So it's a pure 100 to 0 CC. His teammates, no idea what's going on. Ari throws out the rest of her ultimate, finds the enemies, and that's where we're able to lay into for the quick double-double for that Ari. It was beautiful play.
Yeah, great.
In fact, she got all 5.
The unofficial pentakill.
Yeah, because she got the double right there, plus the Swain before, and then, again, Hwinster has that frozen mallet. Dark Terror can't go anywhere. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have the damage to back it up. And that's why, again, if you're going to go that frozen mallet, you need that Atmos. And now she gets the one last kill. Etsu, unfortunately, cannot do anything against format, and then the surrender vote comes out, and GG, well played.